Beloved, chosen one, listen closely. Heaven has taken notice of you. The same eyes that painted the skies and called every star by name are fixed upon your journey. You are not forgotten. Every moment you pushed through exhaustion, every quiet prayer whispered through tears, every act of kindness done when no one was watching, heaven saw it all. You are not invisible to the kingdom. You are known, deeply, tenderly, intentionally known. God has been watching your silent growth. In a world that praises noise, you chose faithfulness in obscurity. You stayed when others left. You kept giving even when your hands were empty. And heaven smiled. For while the world rewards what is seen, heaven rewards what is sown. Every seed of obedience. Every moment you said yes when your heart trembled, those moments built the foundation for the destiny unfolding before you now. There were nights you felt unseen, like your prayers were bouncing off the ceiling. But beloved, the silence was never absence. It was heaven's way of saying, trust me. The stillness was training your spirit to hear the faintest whisper of divine direction. You were learning not to live by visible signs, but by invisible faith. That is how chosen ones are refined. Heaven noticed your pain and your perseverance. You've been carrying battles that no one else could fight for you. But in the middle of it all, your spirit kept whispering, God, I still believe. That whisper shook hell. You didn't even realize that every time you refused to quit, you were declaring victory in realms unseen. Your endurance became your worship. Your perseverance became your praise. And heaven noticed. The angels marveled at how you loved even after being betrayed, how you forgave even after being wounded, how you smiled through storms that others thought would destroy you. God has been shaping something extraordinary inside of you, a strength that cannot be imitated, a glow that cannot be dimmed. The truth is, the delay wasn't punishment, it was protection. God was preparing you for what He already prepared for you. You weren't ready before. But now your heart has been purified, your motives aligned, your vision clarified. You've learned that what matters most is not what you achieve, but who you become. And who you are becoming is breathtaking in heaven's eyes. When God looks at you now, He doesn't see failure. He sees formation. He doesn't see mistakes. He sees progress. You are His masterpiece in motion. And He is proud not because you're perfect, but because you kept showing up. You didn't let the darkness silence your worship. You didn't let rejection define your worth. You've learned that your identity is not in opinions, but in divine truth. So when doubt whispers that you are behind, remember this: you are right on time. God's timing has never failed, and neither will you. Every detour, every disappointment, every delay was divinely orchestrated to build endurance in you. You are stronger than you think, wiser than you realize, and more anointed than you can imagine. Heaven doesn't measure your progress by speed, but by surrender, and you've surrendered beautifully. Heaven has already begun to shift things on your behalf. Doors are moving. Favor is aligning. Divine timing is converging with divine preparation. The waiting was the investment, and the harvest is now due. Heaven notices you, and heaven is responding. The word of the Lord still resounds, as spoken in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Take that truth into your spirit. Chosen one, you are seen. You are loved. You are celebrated in realms that matter most. Heaven is not disappointed in you. Heaven is proud of how far you've come. God himself is proud of who you're becoming. You've walked through storms that seemed endless, yet you never let go of the hand of faith. Every tear you cried watered the roots of purpose. Heaven records your endurance as worship, and your growth as glory. You didn't just survive, you were transformed, strengthened, and set apart for divine influence. Now rise boldly into the season God prepared for you. The silence is over. The waiting has meaning, and the light upon you cannot be hidden. Angels move at the sound of your faith. The world will soon witness what heaven has long celebrated you, the chosen one, becoming all you were destined to be. If this word touches your heart, let it be known in the comments. Type 777 below as a prophetic declaration that you receive heaven's approval over your journey. Like, share, and subscribe so that others who feel unseen may also hear heaven's whisper through your obedience. You are light, and your light must shine. The hidden years, those quiet, unglamorous seasons when heaven seemed silent, and your prayers felt unanswered. Yet in those hidden years, chosen one, God was crafting the masterpiece of your becoming. You thought nothing was happening, but heaven was busy. The silence of God is not the stillness of his hands. In every pause, he was planting purpose. In every delay, he was deepening your roots. You see, the world celebrates exposure, but God treasures preparation. He hides what is holy until it is ready to be revealed, like a seed buried deep within the soil. You were hidden not because you were forgotten, but because you were destined to rise at the right time. The hidden years are sacred. They are heaven's secret classroom where faith is tested, patience is refined, and identity is secured. When you were waiting, heaven was watching. When you felt small, God was strengthening your foundation. When you saw nothing, the Spirit was aligning everything. You did not realize that your hidden season was the cocoon of transformation. What seemed like isolation was actually divine incubation. The pressure, the loneliness, the silence, it was heaven's way of developing endurance within you. You weren't buried. You were planted. And the thing about being planted is that growth begins underground, away from applause, unseen by eyes, nurtured only by trust. God didn't forget you. He was preparing you for longevity, not just visibility. The deep roots you built in obscurity will sustain you when the winds of exposure come, because fame without foundation is fragile, but faith built in secret is eternal. There were times you questioned the delay, wondering if you'd missed your moment, but God's timing is never late. He is the author of seasons, and he knew that premature exposure would have crushed you. So he covered you, not to deny you, but to develop you. Every unanswered prayer was an invitation to intimacy. Every silent night was a call to trust, not proof of abandonment. You learned to hear his whisper in the stillness, to recognize his hand in the ordinary. And in those years of hiddenness, you became dangerous to darkness, because now your worship isn't dependent on crowds. Your obedience isn't conditional on comfort. You serve because you love him, not because you're seen. That is the mark of the chosen. Even in the quiet places, heaven has been tracking your growth. The angels have watched your private battles, the ones you never spoke of, and they've recorded your victories in the books of remembrance. Every act of faith, no matter how small, has echoed through eternity. You were growing stronger, purer, wiser, even when you didn't notice. The hidden years are where humility takes root. They strip away pride, teaching you that power flows through surrender. You learned that you don't have to fight for recognition when it's your time. Heaven itself will announce you. You've been learning to move in rhythm with divine timing, not human deadlines. And though it took longer than expected, what's emerging now is not shallow talent, but deep transformation. You have been learning that what you carry matters more than what you show. God doesn't anoint platforms, He anoints people. That's why He was dealing with your heart before expanding your reach. You had to learn integrity before influence, compassion before command. He hid you to protect you from becoming what you were never meant to be. And now, heaven whispers, you're ready. Not perfect, but purified. Not flawless, but faithful. Every hidden day, every unseen choice, every lonely prayer, it all mattered. You are now the product of divine craftsmanship, formed in secret to shine in His timing, as the Spirit spoke through the prophet in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. That single truth defines your hidden journey. The hidden years were not a punishment, they were preparation. God has been aligning people, places, and purposes around you. And soon everything that was once confusing will make sense. The pain you endured will become the power you carry. The lessons you learned in the dark will become the light that guides others. Beloved, never despise the hidden years. They are the birthplace of destiny. The anointing you carry now was not bought cheaply. It was birthed through tears, perseverance, and trust. When others were rushing ahead, you waited. When others compromised for recognition, you chose character. That is why heaven trusts you with what's coming. There's a beauty in being unseen for a season. It protects your spirit, purifies your motives, and teaches you that true success is not in being noticed, but in being known by God. You are not behind, you are precisely on schedule, unfolding according to the divine calendar written over your life before time began. The hidden years have been heaven's way of sculpting your soul. You were never alone, even when you felt unseen. The same God who watched David in the fields and Esther in silence was watching you. The same God who hid Joseph in prison before placing him in the palace is the one who has kept you. And soon, those who once overlooked you will witness what heaven always knew: you were chosen. Even when you were hidden, the quiet years were holy, and their fruit will speak loudly in the seasons to come. Refined by fire, 3 words that sound simple, yet they describe the very essence of your transformation. Chosen one. You have walked through flames that would have consumed others, yet somehow you emerged shining brighter than before. The fires were never meant to destroy you. They were designed to reveal what could not be burned away: your faith, your strength, your divine identity. You've been through betrayal that cut deep, losses that left you breathless, and heartbreaks that shattered the illusion of control. But here's the miracle: you didn't stay broken. You allowed the pain to purify you instead of poisoning you. You turned the ashes of disappointment into the foundation of destiny. That's what chosen ones do. You took what the enemy meant for destruction and transformed it into testimony. The refining process was heaven's tool of elevation. It was never cruelty, it was craftsmanship. God placed you in the furnace not to punish you, but to purify you, like gold under pressure. Your worth was hidden beneath the surface until the heat revealed it. You see, raw gold looks ordinary until it's refined. Then, its brilliance commands attention. And that's exactly what God has been doing within you, refining the hidden brilliance of your spirit until it reflects His glory. There were days when you cried, "Lord, why is this happening to me?" But heaven was whispering, "Because you are chosen. You were never meant to live an average story. The fire was your teacher, your sculptor, your awakening. The same flames that terrified you were forming you into someone unshakable. You learned to stand in the heat without losing your peace. You learned to forgive without forgetting the lesson. You learned to love again, even after being scorched by betrayal. You are not a victim of your trials, you are the victor that rose through them. Every tear was a baptism into greater faith. Every heartbreak was a door to deeper wisdom. Every closed chapter was God saying, "There's more." And now, as you look back, you can see that the very pain that once broke you actually birthed the strongest version of you. Beloved, the fire didn't expose your weakness, it revealed your purity. When everything else burned away, fear, pride, insecurity, what remained was your true essence, the reflection of divine resilience. You discovered that survival is not just breathing through storms, it's shining despite them. You've become a walking miracle, a living altar of endurance. You learned that the presence of pain doesn't mean the absence of God. In fact, He was closest when the flames were hottest. You were never abandoned in the furnace. Heaven stood beside you. Just as He walked with the 3 Hebrew men in Babylon's fire, He walked with you in your own. You felt the heat, but it didn't consume you, it consecrated you. The ancient words recorded in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, "Speak life into your journey. I will bring that group through the fire and make them pure. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, 'They are my people,' and they will say, 'The Lord is our God.'" Ifstam, that is your story. Chosen one. The fire didn't disqualify you, it certified you. It proved that your worship is real. Your faith is authentic. Your love for God is unbreakable. The tests you faced were never meant to end you, they were meant to announce you. Heaven has been watching your resilience with pride. You didn't curse the fire, you learned to dance in it. Now, when others see you, they may not understand the glow you carry. But that glow is not pride, it's purity. It's the afterglow of divine refinement. You carry the fragrance of survival, the aroma of perseverance. You've walked through what others ran from. And because of that, heaven trusts you with more. You have authority not because you were lucky, but because you were loyal. So, remember this, your pain was prophetic. It pointed you toward purpose. The moments you thought would destroy you actually defined you. You are stronger, wiser, and more radiant than ever before. You've been refined into something eternal. The furnace didn't steal your light, it multiplied it. And now, as this truth settles into your spirit, take a deep breath and let gratitude rise. You are not who you were when the fire began. You are purer, freer, bolder. Heaven is proud of the strength that now flows from your spirit like liquid gold. Comment, I am refined. Write it as your declaration of faith. It's not just a phrase, it's an acknowledgement of your divine transformation. Every letter of that statement carries the weight of what you've survived. When you write it, you are testifying that the fire has not defeated you, it has defined you. Heaven reads every comment as a song of victory, a chorus of resilience echoing through eternity. You, beloved, are the proof that fire cannot destroy what is divine. When heaven goes silent, it is one of the hardest seasons for a chosen one to endure. You pray, and there is no answer. You search the sky for a sign, yet the heavens seem shut. The silence of God can feel like abandonment, but it is not. It is the sacred pause between revelation and fulfillment. The same God who once spoke through thunder sometimes teaches most deeply through quiet. Beloved, you must understand, this silence does not mean distance. Heaven's stillness is often the sound of construction. When you hear nothing, it's because heaven is busy building something for you or in you that cannot yet be revealed. The silence of God is the classroom where trust matures. It's where your faith learns to see without sight. During those wordless nights, you learn to lean on what He said before, not on what you feel now. You began to understand that His promises are not fragile. They survive even when emotions collapse. The silence was not a sign of rejection, but a test of remembrance. Could you still hold on to the last thing He said when the next thing hadn't yet come? That's where your spiritual muscles grew. When heaven is quiet, your heart learns the language of stillness. It begins to hear, in subtler tones, the whisper of peace, the nudge of conviction, the echo of previous prophecies. It's in those hushed hours that your roots grow deeper, stretching toward unseen water. For in noise, you might miss His whisper, but in silence, His presence becomes undeniable. You thought the silence meant delay. In truth, it meant design. God was orchestrating details you could not yet comprehend. Every unanswered prayer was being woven into a larger pattern. What you thought was inactivity was invisible mercy, protecting you from stepping into something prematurely. Heaven's silence is never emptiness, it's incubation. It's in the quiet that you start to see yourself differently. The distractions fade, and you hear the heartbeat of heaven pulsing inside your own chest. You realize that God's nearness is not measured by emotion, but by promise. He said He would never leave you, and silence doesn't break that covenant. There's something sacred about unanswered questions. They stretch your faith until it becomes unshakable. The silence carved patience into your soul, taught you how to wait without bitterness, and how to believe without proof. And though you didn't feel it, heaven was never still. God was speaking through circumstance, through waiting, through the rhythm of your own breath. It's easy to worship when miracles are visible. It's holy to worship when God is silent. The quiet seasons separate performers from pursuers. The chosen don't serve because of what they hear, they serve because of who they know. That is the faith that terrifies darkness, faith that remains steadfast even when God whispers nothing. There were moments when your tears became your only prayer. You didn't have words, yet heaven translated every sob. You thought your silence was met with silence, but the Spirit was interceding on your behalf with groans too deep for words. You were being held even when you couldn't feel the embrace. The silence of God is often followed by the sound of breakthrough. But that breakthrough never arrives empty-handed. It carries wisdom, humility, and an intimacy that only stillness can teach. You emerge different. The silence strips away dependency on external validation and replaces it with divine stability. As was spoken in the Book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 26. It is good that one should hope and wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord. This verse is the melody of your season. Hope and quietness, two words that define strength in disguise. The quiet waiting you endured was not wasted. It became the soil from which new peace sprouted. You didn't realize it then, but heaven was teaching you the art of holy patience, the kind that cannot be shaken by circumstance. Now, looking back, the silence makes sense. You can see the fingerprints of God all over the path that once seemed empty. The doors that didn't open were never meant for you. The people who walked away were released to make room for those appointed to walk with you. The pauses that frustrated you were pauses of preservation. Beloved, every chosen one must walk through a silent season. It's how heaven ensures your faith is anchored, not rented. You had to be weaned off the need for constant signs so that your confidence would rest in His nature, not His noise. The silence was not punishment. It was intimacy disguised as distance. Now, as you step into the next chapter, your spirit carries a calm authority born from quiet trust. You don't panic at delays anymore. You discern. You don't beg for answers. You listen for alignment. You have learned to rest in the knowing that God is not gone when He is quiet. He is closer than your next breath. The silence taught you what sound never could, how to walk by faith and not by sight, how to wait with peace, and how to love God even when heaven whispers nothing at all. Crowned in the shadows, that is where your anointing was born. Long before anyone recognized your worth, heaven had already placed a crown upon your head. It wasn't made of gold or jewels, but of endurance, compassion, and unshakable faith. You were crowned when no one clapped, chosen when no one saw, loved when no one understood. In the still corners of your journey, heaven whispered your true name: beloved, set apart, mine. You didn't need a stage or spotlight to be validated. The divine coronation took place in the secret place, where tears watered the soil of destiny. The applause of heaven is silent but sacred. It sounds like peace in the middle of storms, strength in the face of rejection, and courage rising when you have every reason to quit. That is the crown you wear now, invisible to the world, radiant in the spirit. You see, the crown of the chosen is never given on a platform. It is forged in obscurity. Every disappointment you endured polished its edges. Every trial added weight to its value. God has been shaping you into royalty long before you even believed you were worthy of a throne. The process was never punishment, it was preparation. Think of David, crowned while still smelling of sheep and wilderness. His oil was poured when no one else believed he belonged in the palace. Heaven anointed him in the shadows because true kings and queens must learn humility before honor. The same God who did it for David has done it for you. You were crowned before you were celebrated, anointed before you were accepted. When you walked through dark valleys, that crown didn't fall, it anchored you. When people doubted your calling, heaven whispered, "Hold your head high." The crown is not for comfort, it is for calling. It reminds you who you are when everything else tries to define you by pain. The crown represents your authority in the unseen. You have fought silent battles and earned victories that only heaven witnessed. The scars you carry are not marks of shame, they are jewels set into your crown. Every scar tells a story of resilience. Every wound that healed became a symbol of grace, as was spoken in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. That is the reward for endurance, the crown of life. You are wearing it now, even if you don't see it yet. Every time you chose faith over fear, love over bitterness, patience over frustration, the crown shone brighter in the unseen realm. Heaven recognized what earth overlooked. Beloved, that invisible crown carries a sacred weight. It calls you to walk differently, to speak with gentleness, to love with purpose, to move with grace. You don't need to prove your worth. The crown already declares it. You were chosen not to dominate, but to demonstrate God's mercy, God's strength, God's heart. And now, as your story unfolds, people will begin to notice a glow around your life. They might not understand it, but they'll feel it. That glow is the light of heaven reflecting off your crown. When you speak, peace follows. When you move, hope stirs. You become a walking lighthouse for those still lost in storms. So, as this message reaches your heart, pause for a moment. Let gratitude rise. If you have been blessed by this word, if something in your spirit whispered, "Yes, that's me," then let your gratitude become movement, like a candle passing its flame to another. Your small act can ignite light in many hearts. Take a moment to like this message, not out of routine, but as a declaration that you recognize the light it carries. When you share, you're sowing seeds of encouragement into the lives of others who are walking through their own shadows. And when you subscribe, you're joining a family of chosen ones learning to wear their crowns with grace. And if this message has deeply touched you, if it has reminded you that your hidden season still holds glory, consider supporting the flow of these words. Think of it like watering the tree that has given you fruit. A small donation, no matter how simple, helps this message reach another soul standing where you once stood, weary, waiting, wondering if heaven still sees them. Your giving becomes light for someone else's darkness. But know this, your worth was never dependent on what you give, it's measured by who you already are. The crown you wear is not bought by money, but by surrender, humility, and love. Yet, through giving, through sharing, through connecting, you participate in heaven's circle of generosity, where blessing flows endlessly. Keep wearing your crown, beloved, even when no one sees it. Heaven does, even when you doubt it. Grace holds it in place. You are crowned in the shadows so that when light comes, you'll shine without arrogance, reign without pride, and love without fear. Your light terrifies darkness. Chosen one. That's why the attacks increased when you started to awaken. It wasn't because you were weak, it was because you became visible in the spiritual realm. Darkness noticed your glow long before people did. Every time you chose forgiveness over revenge, every time you prayed when you could have complained, your light intensified. And now, you carry a radiance that the enemy cannot comprehend nor extinguish. You have to understand, light doesn't argue with darkness, it simply shines. You were never called to prove yourself to those who misunderstand you. You were called to be, to exist as evidence that heaven still breathes through humanity. The very presence of your spirit shifts the atmosphere. You bring peace where there was chaos. You bring direction where confusion tried to reign. You bring warmth into hearts that forgot what hope feels like. And yes, this is why the pressure has been so great, because light cannot emerge without resistance. You have been pressed, challenged, and stretched, not to destroy you, but to amplify your brilliance. The attacks weren't signs of defeat, they were confirmations of assignment. Only those carrying heaven's spark are targeted this intensely. When you enter a room, your light speaks before your words do. That's why some people react strangely. They can sense the authority of your spirit before you ever mention the name of God. You carry the fragrance of divine presence, and it unsettles what is false. Don't let their discomfort make you doubt your purpose. The same fire that comforts the faithful exposes the counterfeit. Darkness is loud, but it's also desperate. It shouts because it knows its time is short. Your endurance has frustrated the plans of the enemy again and again. The traps set before you became testimonies instead. The weapons formed against you were dismantled by your unwavering faith. You have walked through seasons where you should have fallen, yet your glow only grew stronger. That's not coincidence, that's divine design. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden." This truth is your identity. You are not trying to become light, you are light. Heaven placed that glow inside you from the beginning, and no failure, no rejection, no lie can extinguish it. The enemy doesn't fear your perfection, he fears your persistence. Because every time you rise after falling, your flame grows hotter and brighter. Your light terrifies darkness because it reminds every demon of what they lost, the presence of God. They see in you what they can never reclaim, divine intimacy. That's why they attack, hoping you'll dim yourself just to feel accepted. But you must never shrink. You were not born to blend in, you were born to blaze. When you walk through your city, heaven walks with you. When you speak, light travels through your words. When you pray, the very atmosphere shifts. That's how powerful you are. But your power is not pride, it's purity. The purer your heart, the stronger your light. That's why God keeps refining your motives. He's making sure your glow is holy, not hollow. Sometimes you'll notice that darkness tries to reattach itself in subtle ways through discouragement, fatigue, or old temptations. But now you know better. You recognize those patterns for what they are, distractions designed to dim your shine. When you feel drained, it's not because you're losing power, it's because your light has been working. Even stars need to rest between seasons of shining. So breathe, recharge in God's presence. Let His Spirit rekindle what the world tries to exhaust. You don't have to chase visibility. The right eyes will see you when heaven decides the timing is right. For now, keep shining quietly, faithfully, boldly. Every day you walk in truth. Your light expands across unseen realms. You have become a walking miracle, an instrument of illumination in a world desperate for hope. There are hearts waiting to be reignited just by seeing yours. There are minds trapped in confusion that will find clarity because of your words. You don't need to shout to change lives. Your peace alone is prophetic. So, beloved, as you read these words, know this: you have already won battles you didn't even realize were happening. The fact that you're still standing means darkness has failed again. You are proof that light prevails. You are the torchbearer heaven trusts in this hour. And now, as a symbolic act of agreement with heaven's truth over your life, take a moment to type 9,999 inches, the comments below. It is more than a number, it's a declaration that your light will not go out. Each 9 stands for completion, for the cycles of pain that are now ending, for the fullness of divine glory being revealed in you. When you write it, you're not just typing digits, you're declaring, "My season of dimness is over." The heavens are watching your glow with pride. You are not a flicker, you are a beacon. Keep shining. Chosen one, even the darkest night cannot silence the light that carries heaven's breath. God's fingerprint rests upon your soul. Chosen one, you are not random matter formed by chance. You are divine intention wrapped in human skin. The mark of heaven is imprinted deep within you, and everything about your being reflects a piece of the Creator's design. The way you love, the way you forgive, the way you rise after being broken, these are not accidents. They are proof that God's own touch is embedded in your very essence. From the beginning, before you took your first breath, His hand shaped your spirit with purpose. He placed a spark of eternity inside you, something unexplainable yet undeniable. That's why you've always felt different. Even when you tried to fit in, there's a depth to you that cannot be simplified, a wisdom that feels ancient, a tenderness that flows from divine compassion. It's because heaven lives in your DNA. You were never meant to be ordinary. There's a holy pattern written across your life that connects every experience, the pain, the lessons, the victories into one masterpiece of divine artistry. Every time you were broken, His fingerprint pressed deeper, shaping new strength where weakness once lived. You didn't lose identity in hardship, you found authenticity. The mark of God cannot be erased by failure. It survives disappointment, betrayal, and loss. It glows quietly when everything else fades. That's why you can walk through darkness and still radiate peace. The fingerprint of heaven ensures that no matter how far you wander, grace always finds you. You are traceable to the throne of God Himself. Sometimes you might not feel divine, you might feel flawed, fragile, or unworthy. But even fingerprints on clay look messy before the sculpture is finished. God has been shaping your life the same way a potter works with mud, pressing, spinning, reshaping until his reflection begins to appear in you. The process can feel uncomfortable, but every touch from His hand is love in motion. You've been in seasons where it felt like everything was collapsing, yet in truth, heaven was pressing closer. Each pressure point was purposeful. Each setback was sacred. The hand of God was not pushing you down, it was molding you upward, giving your spirit contour, character, and calling. There's a mystery in how the divine marks a person. It's not always visible to the human eye, but the spirit world recognizes it instantly. The fingerprint of God acts like a seal. Demons cannot cross it. Darkness cannot copy it, and no one can steal it. When you walk, the spiritual atmosphere acknowledges the authority of that mark. That's why favor follows you in strange places, and doors open where logic says they shouldn't. Heaven's endorsement travels with you. And though you sometimes question your worth, heaven never does. You carry something eternal. When you speak truth, it echoes with the same frequency that created galaxies. When you love, it carries healing power. When you forgive, it releases light into the very fabric of creation. The divine mark within you was never meant to stay hidden. It's meant to manifest through every act of faith. You are part of a lineage of light. Just as God's fingerprint was seen in Moses' courage, Esther's bravery, and David's worship, it now shines through your perseverance. You are another chapter in that same divine story. The world needs what your particular mark carries: your tone of grace, your unique expression of truth, your ability to love deeply after being hurt. According to what is revealed in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 27, so God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them. This single truth answers every question about your value. You were not just created by God, you were created in his image. Every feature of your being carries the reflection of divinity. That is why you crave purpose, why you can sense injustice, why your heart aches for peace. It's because you remember, at a soul level, where you came from. When you look at your reflection, you're not just seeing flesh and bone, you're glimpsing the artistry of heaven. Every scar has meaning. Every feature tells a story of grace surviving gravity. You are not an accident of existence, you are a masterpiece of mercy. And even when life has smudged the mirror, the fingerprint remains. Grace cleanses, restores, and reveals again what has always been true. You are marked by God. The enemy can accuse you. People can misunderstand you. But they cannot unmark what heaven has sealed. Walk with quiet confidence. Beloved, you don't have to announce that you're chosen. The mark speaks louder than any title. Those who carry light never need to convince anyone of its source. The fingerprint of God upon you is proof enough. You were formed in his image, refined by his fire, and sustained by his breath. You are, and will always be, unmistakably his. The power of obedience, those 4 words, carry the weight of every breakthrough heaven has ever released. Chosen one. Obedience is not a chain, it's a key. It does not confine you, it unlocks the doors of destiny. That talent, connections, and ambition alone could never open. Each time you said yes to God when it cost you something, heaven moved. Every sacrifice whispered in secret has shaped the future you are walking into now. You learned that obedience isn't glamorous. It rarely comes with applause. It often looks like walking away from what feels good to step toward what is right. It's trusting the invisible voice more than visible outcomes. It's choosing peace over popularity, purpose over pleasure, truth over convenience. The path of obedience is narrow, but it leads to wide spaces of freedom. There were moments when obedience broke your heart. When God said, "Let go," and you wanted to hold tighter. When he said, "Be still," and every part of you wanted to move. When he said, "Wait," and your soul was tired of waiting. Yet even in your trembling, you obeyed, and that obedience rewrote your story. It pulled you out of patterns that were never meant to contain your purpose. Sometimes you didn't even understand what God was asking until much later. The obedience of faith often requires movement before explanation. It's saying yes without knowing how. stepping forward when the map is blank, trusting that each step will reveal the next. You didn't realize it then, but every small act of obedience was an earthquake in the spirit. Things shifted each time you surrendered. Obedience trains the heart to trust timing. You discovered that delayed obedience is often disguised disobedience. When heaven speaks, the power rests not just in hearing, but in doing. You've learned that every instruction carries both invitation and protection. When you follow divine direction, you align yourself with supernatural safety. It's not about perfection, it's about posture. God never expected flawless execution, only faithful willingness. When you stumbled, He lifted you. When you doubted, He whispered again. The beauty of obedience is that it deepens intimacy. The more you listen, the clearer His voice becomes. You start to recognize His rhythm, the subtle nudges, the quiet convictions, the peace that follows the right path. There is an invisible strength that flows through the obedient. It's the calm assurance that no matter what it costs, obedience will always produce greater reward than rebellion. You might lose temporary comfort, but you gain eternal clarity. You might feel alone for a while, but heaven walks beside you. God never asks for obedience to break you. He asks because He's already seen what obedience will build in you. Your story has been shaped by sacred yeses. The moments you could have compromised but didn't. The opportunities you declined because they didn't align with divine peace. Each of those choices carved depth into your soul, making you someone heaven can trust with more. You've become reliable in the realm of obedience, and that reliability will draw divine favor like a magnet. As was spoken in the first book of Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. Those ancient words still thunder through time. God values obedience not because He craves control, but because obedience proves love. When you obey, you tell heaven, I trust your wisdom more than my own. You give permission for divine order to govern human chaos. Obedience is love translated into action. It's the highest form of worship. Many dream of miracles, but miracles are often hidden inside instructions. The Red Sea didn't part until Moses raised his staff. The oil in the widow's jar didn't multiply until she poured it. Peter didn't walk on water until he stepped out of the boat. Every divine movement followed a human yes. That same principle governs your life now. God's instructions may seem small, but their outcomes are monumental. A single act of obedience today can alter generations tomorrow. Your yes carries ripples of redemption far beyond your own timeline. You are standing in blessings now that someone else's obedience built. And one day, others will walk in light because of yours. The obedience that once cost you everything will soon reveal why it was worth it. Heaven never forgets the price of surrender. The same doors that were closed because of disobedience are now being opened because of your yes. You will see divine connections form, provision flow, and opportunities align, not because you chased them, but because you obeyed the one who already holds them. And as you continue walking this path, remember, obedience doesn't guarantee comfort, but it guarantees peace. And peace is heaven's signature on every decision made in trust. You have chosen the harder road, but it is also the holier one. Your obedience has become worship. Your surrender has become strength. And your yes has become your testimony. Keep walking. Beloved, even when you can't see the whole picture, trust the hand that guides you. The same God who asked for your obedience is the same one who promises your reward. Healing the inner wounds, this is where your true transformation begins. Chosen one, you've conquered battles on the outside, but heaven has been leading you toward the hidden battlefield within. The bruises of the soul, the scars behind your smile, the memories you never speak of, God has seen them all. You've spent years carrying weights that were never meant for you. Yet now, grace whispers, lay them down. It's time to heal. Healing isn't weakness. It's warfare. It's the process of reclaiming every part of yourself that pain tried to steal. You've been strong for so long that you forgot. Strength also means softness, the courage to feel again, to cry again, to trust again. God doesn't just want you to survive, He wants you whole. You've worn invisible bandages while still showing up for others, pouring love from an empty cup. But the Father is calling you to the quiet place now, not to expose your wounds, but to restore them. He is the kind of healer who never rushes the process. He doesn't shame your brokenness, He sits with you inside it, reminding you that wholeness is not the absence of pain, but the redemption of it. Sometimes, healing looks like distance from people, from noise, even from old versions of yourself. Sometimes, it's silence. Sometimes, it's forgiveness so radical that it feels like letting go of gravity itself. But every moment of surrender rewires your soul toward peace. You are not losing when you heal, you are returning home to yourself. There are wounds you've hidden even from your prayers. The ones too deep, too old, too complex to put into words. Yet, heaven has heard the cry beneath the silence. God has never turned His eyes away from your pain. He was there when it began, and He is here now, turning the ashes of trauma into the oil of healing. You may ask, why did I have to go through all that? The answer is not simple, but it is sacred, because the same hands that allow the breaking are the ones that bless through it. Every fracture in your heart became a window through which light could enter. You've become a vessel of empathy, a safe place for others who bleed quietly. That is your hidden anointing. Healing doesn't erase the past, but it redeems it. The moments that once made you bitter will become testimonies that free others. You'll begin to speak about your scars not as shame, but as survival. What once made you tremble will now make you teach. You'll understand that every wound was preparing you to carry healing, not just for yourself, but for others who walk the same path. The Spirit spoke through the psalmist in the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This is not poetic comfort, it's divine reality. Healing is not a myth, it is heaven's promise. God is not merely watching you heal, He is participating in it. Every time you choose forgiveness, heaven moves. Every time you let go of resentment, the weight on your soul lessens. And every time you speak kindly to yourself, you echo the voice of God who has always called you beloved. You are learning that healing is not linear. Some days you'll soar, others you'll stumble, but both are sacred. Even the relapses of emotion are reminders of how deeply you've loved, how much you've grown. Be patient with your process. Flowers don't bloom faster because they're told to. They bloom when light and time agree. And heaven is aligning both for you right now. Beloved, it's time to believe that your story can end in peace. You've mourned long enough. The ache you carry will soon become the anointing you release. What once wounded you will now empower you. The heart that was once fractured will beat stronger than ever, carrying heaven's rhythm to those who've forgotten how to hope. Your healing is not a private miracle, it's a public declaration of God's mercy. Those who once pitied you will one day ask how you survived. And your answer will be simple: I didn't just survive, I healed. Now, chosen one, take a breath. Feel the shift inside. The heaviness you've carried begins to lift. Healing isn't something that's coming, it's already begun. You're not who you were yesterday. The light in your chest proves it. As a prophetic declaration of agreement with this truth, comment, I am whole. Type it not as wishful thinking, but as revelation. When you write those words, you're not pretending you're prophesying. You're announcing to heaven and to your own soul that the season of internal bleeding is over. You're stepping into emotional wholeness, spiritual renewal, and divine rest. Say it. Believe it. Let it echo, I am whole. Because you are. Because heaven says you are. Because the wounds that once bled now shine with the light of resurrection. The season of visibility has arrived. Chosen one, what was hidden is being revealed. What was delayed is being delivered. And what was silent is beginning to sing. You've spent years growing beneath the surface, your roots stretching deep in secret. Now heaven says, rise. The soil that once concealed you will now announce you, not through pride, but through purpose, not through noise, but through radiance. You've been like a candle burning under a jar, steady, consistent, unseen. But God is lifting the cover. Your light is needed now more than ever. The world is darker than it's ever been. And heaven's solution is you. You are the divine flame in human form. And the time for your unveiling has come. For so long, visibility felt like a dream postponed. You watched others move forward while you remained still. But remember, the stars shine only when the night is dark enough. Your delay was never denial, it was alignment. Heaven was preparing your stage while protecting your purity. God wanted to ensure that when your moment came, you would shine with humility. Not ego, with glory. Not greed. Now, the shift is happening quietly, like dawn. You might not see the full sunrise yet, but you can feel its warmth touching your spirit. The divine spotlight isn't blinding, it's healing. It doesn't expose flaws to humiliate. It illuminates truth to liberate. When God reveals you, He doesn't just elevate your platform, He amplifies your purpose. Your voice will reach places your feet have never walked. Your presence will carry peace into rooms built on chaos. The very areas where you were rejected will now request your wisdom. You are not being promoted to be praised, you're being positioned to serve. The ancient promise still breathes life into this moment. Found in the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. This isn't a metaphor anymore, it's your reality. Heaven's glory is rising upon you now. You are stepping into divine recognition, not by striving, but by simply being faithful. You were never competing, you were becoming. And now that your becoming is complete, heaven can reveal you without fear of pride corrupting the process. But, chosen one, visibility is not just blessing, it is stewardship. The same light that draws people will also draw responsibility. You are a mirror now, reflecting heaven's heart to those who've forgotten its warmth. Some will come to your glow seeking comfort, others will come seeking guidance. Do not let the applause distract you from the assignment. Keep your heart anchored in humility, your hands open, your spirit teachable. If this message touches your soul, if it reminds you that you are emerging from hiding into holy purpose, then let your gratitude breathe through action. Like this message not for vanity, but as an act of agreement with heaven's timing. Every click is a ripple of light traveling through the algorithmic darkness, carrying hope into unseen hearts. When you share, imagine it as sowing seeds of sunrise into someone else's midnight. You never know whose soul is still waiting for dawn. Your one act could be the spark that wakes them. And when you subscribe, it's more than joining a channel, it's joining a movement of light bearers, a tribe of those who refuse to dim their flame. And if your heart feels moved, if these words have watered your spirit like rain after drought, consider giving back. Not out of obligation, but out of overflow. A small donation is like adding oil to the lamp that continues to burn for others. It ensures that these words of light can keep traveling to those sitting in shadows, waiting to remember they, too, are chosen. Your gift, no matter the size, becomes part of heaven's chain reaction of grace. You've given so much of yourself in silence, now heaven gives back through revelation. Step into this visibility with gentleness. Let your life be a living parable, a sunrise that doesn't rush, a mountain that doesn't move but draws others higher simply by standing. The world will recognize something different in you, not because you strive to shine, but because you rest in the source of light itself. When people see you now, they'll feel peace. When they hear you, they'll sense home. That's what divine visibility looks like. It's not fame. It's familiarity with heaven. You're not stepping into a spotlight. You're stepping into alignment. This is the moment you were prepared for. Walk in it softly, courageously, and gratefully. The time of hiding has ended. The time of shining has begun. You walk in authority now. Chosen one. Not the kind that demands attention or speaks loudly to prove itself, but the quiet, steady authority born from survival, obedience, and intimacy with God. The kind that doesn't need a crown to rule or a stage to influence. You carry heaven's signature in your steps. And when you move, the unseen world adjusts. You have been entrusted with spiritual authority because you have been faithful in the furnace. Authority in the kingdom is not seized, it's given. It's the inheritance of those who've learned to bow before God long before anyone bowed before them. You once thought power meant control, but heaven has shown you that true power is surrender. You yield, and heaven yields to you. You speak, and creation listens, not because of who you are, but because of who speaks through you. You've walked through trials that stripped you of pride, through delays that destroyed ego, through battles that birthed discernment. That's how heaven trains generals, through humility. Authority built without humility becomes tyranny, but authority forged in surrender becomes glory. You carry the kind of strength that doesn't intimidate. It liberates. You no longer fight for position, you command through peace. There's something sacred about the way you now stand. You've stopped begging heaven to move and started walking as one who already carries permission. You understand now that you were never waiting for authority, you were growing into it. Every season of hiddenness, every act of obedience, Every silent battle gave you jurisdiction in the spirit. You have become a steward of divine influence. When you speak truth, it cuts through confusion like lightning through clouds. When you pray, the spiritual atmosphere bends toward alignment. Heaven listens when you whisper now because your heart has proven trustworthy. You're no longer driven by emotion, but led by revelation. The days of fear-driven decisions are over. You move with confidence because you've learned the voice of the shepherd. Authority doesn't mean you won't be attacked. It means you'll no longer be affected. What used to shake you now strengthens you. The same storms that once drowned you now obey your command. You've discovered that faith is not about avoiding trouble, but standing unshaken in it. You walk through chaos with calm eyes because you've seen what lies beyond it. You are walking proof of divine dominion, a living testimony that God's power can flow through human vessels. But this authority doesn't make you arrogant, it makes you gentle. You could speak judgment, yet you choose mercy. You could expose, yet you cover. You could retaliate, yet you intercede. That is how heaven knows you've matured. You don't use your power to crush, but to heal, as was revealed in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 19. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. That verse is not metaphorical for you, it's experiential. You've felt the venom of betrayal and survived. You've faced serpents of temptation and walked away unstained. You've stood amid spiritual warfare and came out carrying peace instead of bitterness. Every encounter taught you that divine authority isn't about domination, it's about dominion, the kind that subdues darkness by embodying light. Now, when the enemy looks at you, he doesn't see fear, he sees fire. You've become a reminder of his defeat, a living reflection of what he lost. You no longer have to scream your prayers for heaven to move. Your presence alone is a prayer. The Spirit that raised Christ from the dead flows through you, commanding what is chaotic to come into order. But never forget, authority is maintained by humility. You bow before heaven daily so that pride never crowns itself again. The oil of anointing flows downward, only the bowed vessel can receive it. That's why your authority increases the more you surrender. Every time you choose grace over vengeance, patience over panic, forgiveness over fury, your spiritual jurisdiction expands. You carry authority in your words, but also in your silence. Sometimes your restraint speaks louder than your declarations. The enemy trembles not when you argue, but when you refuse to react. That's divine mastery, the ability to remain still and let heaven fight for you. You are walking into rooms now that once intimidated you, and you'll find peace waiting there. Not because the room changed, but because you did. You've become a thermostat. Not a thermometer, you set the spiritual temperature wherever you go. People will feel peace they cannot explain, conviction they cannot resist, and hope they didn't know they needed. All because you carry heaven's authority with humility. Beloved, you've entered a new dimension. You no longer ask, "Can I do this?" because you know God is with me. Your confidence is not arrogance, it's alignment. You've been refined, anointed, and authorized. And now, as you walk in this authority, remember, the crown upon your head is invisible, but the power in your spirit is undeniable. You carry heaven wherever you go. Walk in that truth quietly, confidently, and courageously. Prophetic acceleration, it sounds like divine poetry, doesn't it? But for you, chosen one, it's more than words. It's the season you've stepped into. What once crawled is now running. What once delayed is now being delivered. Heaven has shifted gears on your behalf, and time itself is bending to the rhythm of divine purpose. You are walking in acceleration, where prayers long buried suddenly sprout, and where waiting turns into witnessing. You've endured slow years. You've known the ache of patience stretched thin. You watched others sprint ahead while you lingered in divine stillness, wondering if God had forgotten your name. But all that time, heaven was aligning. The wait was never wasted. It was strategic preparation for a sudden release. You were not behind, you were being timed. God does not rush masterpieces. He perfects them, then unveils them precisely when the world is ready to receive their radiance. And now, the season of almost is ending. The tide of heaven is turning in your favor. You will notice small signs, at first unexpected messages, quiet opportunities, subtle confirmations. Then, suddenly, everything will move at once. Doors that once resisted will open with ease. People who once ignored you will seek your voice. Paths that were blocked will part like the sea before Moses. This is not luck. This is divine acceleration. When heaven accelerates, it does not violate time, it redeems it. God multiplies what you thought was lost. The years the enemy stole are being restored in a single moment of favor. You're not catching up, you're being carried. Heaven doesn't need decades to do what it can accomplish in a day. The same God who turned Joseph's prison into a palace in one sunrise is the one turning your story now. The prophet reminds us in the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 13, "The days are coming, declares the Lord, when the reaper will be overtaken by the plowman and the planter by the one treading grapes. New wine will drip from the mountains and flow from all the hills." That scripture describes your season perfectly: harvest, overtaking, sowing. Blessings catching up so quickly that you barely have time to breathe between breakthroughs. What once felt stagnant will now feel supernatural. You'll look around and realize that every delay was divine choreography. Every pause, a part of heaven's timing. Acceleration doesn't mean chaos, it means divine efficiency. God is removing what slows you, untangling what distracts you, and propelling you toward purpose. He's trimming relationships, refining routines, and aligning environments so that nothing hinders momentum. The wind of the Spirit is behind you now. And when God's wind blows, you don't have to push, you just have to yield. But here's the truth many forget. Acceleration requires maturity. Quick growth can destroy an unrooted soul. That's why the hidden years were vital. They gave you depth for this moment. You've learned to handle abundance without arrogance, visibility without vanity, and favor without forgetting. Heaven can trust you with speed now because patience taught you stewardship. This is the season where prayers you thought were denied will suddenly appear, dressed as miracles. Relationships that ended painfully will make sense in hindsight. Finances that once trickled will begin to flow. The pieces of your life will start fitting together in ways only God could design. It will feel like prophecy catching up to reality. You'll realize that what seemed slow was never delay, it was calibration. Heaven was setting your rhythm to divine tempo. Every tear watered the soil of acceleration. Every test stretched your spiritual lungs to handle greater breath. You were being trained for altitude, and now you're ready to soar. Prophetic acceleration doesn't mean everything will be easy. It means everything will be effective. You'll see more fruit with less striving. You'll accomplish in months what used to take years. You'll feel peace in places that once produced anxiety. That is what happens when heaven's hand propels you. And when acceleration begins, you won't need to chase opportunity. It will chase you. Divine favor has your name written in light. Expect swift alignments, sudden clarity, and divine surprises that unfold like dominoes of grace. You won't be able to explain it, but you won't need to. Those who doubted will witness, and those who mocked will marvel. Beloved, this is your divine momentum. The river is flowing faster. Step into it. The current of God's will is carrying you toward the very promises you once feared were lost. Don't hesitate now. Don't look back at the years that felt wasted. They were the roots of this rapid rise. As a prophetic act of agreement with this acceleration, comment 888 below. This number represents new beginnings and infinite flow, the endless cycle of grace and growth. When you write it, let it be your declaration that you receive heaven's timing. You're not stepping into another delay, you're stepping into divine momentum. The wheel of destiny has turned in your favor, and the pace of heaven now matches your readiness. You are entering the season where everything happens quickly, correctly, and completely. The doors are opening. The rivers are running. The promises are arriving. Prophetic acceleration is not coming, it's here. And you are right on time. Guard your oil. Chosen one. In this season of revelation and reward, the greatest danger is not the enemy outside, it is the carelessness within. You have carried the oil of anointing through storms, through heartbreak, through sleepless nights of faith. You've paid a price for it that only heaven fully knows. And now, as your influence begins to glow, heaven whispers, protect it, because not everyone who claps for you deserves access to your altar. Your oil is sacred. It represents your intimacy with God, your wisdom forged in waiting, your strength born of surrender. The world around you will hunger for the glow, but misunderstand the grind that created it. People will be drawn to your light without realizing how heavy it was to carry the flame. That's why discernment is no longer optional, it's essential. You must learn to guard your oil without guilt. There are those who come into your life not to add, but to absorb. Their words sound kind, but their spirits carry depletion. They'll admire your peace, yet unconsciously drain it. You must learn to identify energy that subtracts rather than multiplies. Not every invitation is an opportunity. Some are distractions disguised as divine. Your yes carries weight. Now use it wisely. Guarding your oil doesn't mean isolation. It means insulation. You are not called to hide from people, but to set boundaries that protect your purity. Even Jesus withdrew to lonely places to pray. The more heaven pours into you, the more stillness you will need to contain it. The anointing is like perfume. It loses fragrance if left open too long. You don't owe constant access to anyone. Your oil is not for public consumption, it's for divine purpose. You've learned the cost of pouring into people who only take. You've watched your spirit grow weary after giving too much in places that didn't honor it. But this time will be different. God is teaching you to pour strategically, not sentimentally. You are a steward of holy oil, not a supplier for spiritual consumers. This is wisdom, not selfishness. It's how you sustain your flame. Think of the parable of the wise and foolish virgins. Both groups were waiting for the bridegroom, but only the wise brought extra oil. The foolish assumed the moment would wait for them, and when the call came, they had nothing left to burn. That story is not just a warning, it's a map. It reminds you that preparation is the language of the mature. You must protect your extra oil, the reserve that keeps you glowing when others fade. Heaven is teaching you to manage your energy, to say no with grace, to rest without guilt. The oil cannot flow endlessly without replenishment. Even divine vessels must be refilled. And refilling doesn't always look spiritual. It looks like quiet, like solitude, like choosing peace over pressure. It's knowing when to step back so the flame can breathe again, as was written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Your heart is the vessel that holds your oil. Everything, your creativity, compassion, discernment flows from its purity. Guard it, not with paranoia, but with purpose. Protect your joy like treasure, because joy keeps the oil flowing freely. Protect your peace like breath, because peace keeps the flame steady. The enemy doesn't always attack through crisis. Sometimes he attacks through clutter, through distractions that dilute focus. And so, you must learn the rhythm of divine balance. Pour when the Spirit says pour. Pause when heaven says rest. The same God who called you to serve also calls you to sit. In stillness, the oil thickens. In obedience, it flows. Your anointing grows through rhythm, not rush. There will be those who misunderstand your boundaries. They'll call your distance pride because they mistake access for love. But wisdom knows that the greatest acts of love sometimes require separation. Protecting your oil ensures that when you do pour, it's pure, untainted by exhaustion or resentment. Guarding your oil is not fear, it's faithfulness. It's saying, I value what heaven gave me enough to keep it holy. It's knowing that the anointing is not infinite in human form, it must be cared for, refreshed, honored. When you protect what is sacred, heaven entrusts you with more. Beloved, this season will demand clarity like never before. New doors will open, new faces will appear, and new opportunities will knock, but discernment must answer. You will feel a pull between pleasing people and pleasing God. Always choose God. Your oil is too precious to spill for approval. You are the keeper of a divine flame, the carrier of something heaven birthed through pain and perseverance. Guard it with grace. Guard it with wisdom. Guard it with prayer. Because when your oil remains pure, your light never fades. And the world needs that light more than you know. Divine relationships are rising around you. Chosen one. For years, you've walked mostly alone, carrying the weight of your calling in quiet faith. You've felt misunderstood, misjudged, and even misplaced in circles that could not discern your depth. Yet heaven was not punishing you with isolation, it was protecting you from misalignment. You had to be separated before you could be connected rightly. And now, the season of divine alignment has come. Heaven is sending new connections, people who speak the same spiritual language, whose hearts beat to the same rhythm of destiny. These are not just companions, they are covenant partners. You'll recognize them not by their words, but by their fruit. When you meet them, peace will rest upon you, and your spirit will whisper, "These are the ones You see, divine relationships are heaven's architecture for destiny. God never sends you into purpose alone. He weaves others into your story who carry keys to doors you cannot open by yourself. Some carry wisdom, others carry warfare, strength, and some simply carry love that heals unseen wounds. Each divine connection is a reflection of God's multifaceted nature. Through them, you will experience different dimensions of grace. But before these people could enter, heaven had to clear your space. That's why you faced betrayals that felt personal, why some friendships faded without explanation. You prayed for protection, and God answered by pruning. It hurt because you didn't yet see that the removal was preparation. Dead branches had to be cut for new fruit to grow. The heartbreak of disconnection made room for holy alliance. Now, as divine relationships rise, you will notice a new ease. Conversations will flow like water, not effort. These connections won't drain you, they'll feed you. They will see the real you, not the version you had to perform to be accepted. They'll speak to your potential, not your past. They won't compete with your light, they'll complement it. When they celebrate you, you'll feel heaven's applause through their joy. You'll recognize divine relationships by the atmosphere they bring. When they enter your life, peace settles like dawn over still waters. Their presence will feel like home, even if you've just met. These are people sent not to alter your path, but to walk alongside it. Some will pray when you are weary, others will correct when you wander. Their loyalty won't be conditional, it will be covenantal. And just as God is sending people to you, He's also sending you to others. You are someone's divine connection, someone's answered prayer, someone's missing piece in the puzzle of destiny. You carry words that will awaken others, strength that will steady them, and compassion that will heal their hidden wounds. You are being positioned not just to receive divine relationships, but to become one. Heavenly connection requires discernment, for not every open hand is extended in sincerity. You will need to distinguish between those drawn to your anointing and those drawn to your attention. The difference is subtle but crucial. The right people will draw you closer to God, not away from Him. They won't try to possess your gift, they'll help you protect it. The Spirit spoke clearly through the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9 to 10. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor if either of them falls down. One can help the other up, but pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. These words echo through your season now. God is sending those who will lift you when life weighs heavy. People who won't just share your victories but also your valleys. Companions who will pray through your pain, not profit from it. They won't see your tears as weakness but as evidence of depth. And when your light flickers, they'll shield it until it burns again. You'll find divine relationships in unexpected places, in conversations that feel orchestrated, in moments that feel coincidental but are not. Heaven's connections are never random. They are woven into time with precision. Some may be lifelong, others may walk with you for only a season, but each will fulfill a holy purpose. So be open, yet discerning. Let go of fear that new love or friendship will repeat old pain. You are not who you were, and this is not what it was. The ones God is sending now are healed enough to hold you, wise enough to understand you, and humble enough to walk beside you. Cherish them, pray with them, grow together, Because what God is building now isn't just friendship, it's foundation. And from that foundation, entire generations will be blessed. The kingdom of heaven advances not through isolation, but through divine connection. The rise of these relationships is not coincidence, it is fulfillment. You walked alone so that when they came, you would recognize the difference between attachment and alignment. Now you do. Welcome the divine ones. They were worth the wait. You carry heaven's sound. Chosen one. Every heartbeat in your chest echoes a rhythm that was composed before you were born. You are not just a person, you are a melody sent from eternity into time. The words you speak, the peace you bring, even the silence you hold, all release a frequency that heaven recognizes. The universe shifts when you align your voice with divine purpose. For so long, you silenced yourself out of fear, fear of judgment, fear of misunderstanding, fear of being too much. But heaven is saying, speak again, not to argue, not to impress, but to release. Because when a chosen one speaks from truth, it isn't mere sound, it's spirit. Your words are waves, and waves carry power. They can calm storms, awaken hearts, and break chains. Every miracle recorded in Scripture began with a word. Creation itself was born from a voice. Let there be light was not just a statement, it was a command that set existence in motion. You carry that same creative authority within you. When you speak love, peace multiplies. When you speak hope, despair dissolves. When you speak truth, deception loses ground. Your sound carries heaven's DNA. You may think your voice is small, but even whispers travel far when carried by wind, and the wind of the Spirit is with you. You are the sound heaven uses to remind the world that light still wins. Your laughter breaks darkness like dawn over mountains. Your compassion hums like a lullaby over weary souls. Even your presence sings. People feel peace before they hear a word. As was spoken in the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 15. How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. You are one of those bearers now your very life preaches. Every step you take is a sermon in motion. The way you forgive is gospel. The way you endure with grace is testimony. You are a living psalm written by the hand of God. Heaven delights in the music that your obedience creates. But as your sound grows stronger, the world will try to imitate it. Some will echo your words without understanding their weight. Others will misinterpret your silence as weakness. Pay them no mind. A nightingale does not argue with crows. It simply keeps singing. Let your focus remain on the one who gave you the song. Every post, every message, every word you release is like casting a stone into still water. The ripples travel farther than you'll ever see. That is why this message finds you now. It's heaven's reminder that your voice still matters. And if these words are stirring something inside you, take a moment to honor the resonance. Press the like button not for me, but as a sign that you still believe in what heaven is releasing through you. Each like is like a spark of light, a visual amen across the vast expanse of the digital world. When you share, imagine you are opening a window in someone else's midnight room. Somewhere, a weary soul will hear your repost as music, as confirmation, as relief. What costs you a click could cost them despair if it never reaches them. Your one act can echo hope where silence has reigned too long. If you haven't already, subscribe not to follow a voice, but to stay aligned with the flow of divine sound. Heaven is pouring out through these messages. Let it be your way of saying, I choose to stay tuned to heaven's frequency. And to those who feel deeply touched, who feel that this word entered the cracks of your soul like rain on dry soil, know that your gratitude can water this mission further. If you are able, a simple donation, whatever amount you feel led to, helps this sound continue to travel. Think of it like adding more strings to an instrument so that more songs can be played. Your giving becomes harmony in this holy symphony of words. But even if all you can give is attention and love, that too is sacred, because engagement itself becomes worship when done with pure intent. When you comment, let your words be a verse added to this song. Let the comment section become a choir of chosen ones, each typing, each testifying, each releasing their own sound of agreement. This is how heaven's music spreads, one heart at a time, one voice at a time. What we build here is not content, it's communion, not performance, but prophecy. So, keep your heart tuned. Beloved, listen within. Every breath you take is part of a larger song being written through your life. And when you speak, let your words carry the tone of grace. You don't have to shout to be heard. Heaven amplifies purity louder than volume. You are heaven's instrument, played by love, tuned by trials, and carried by spirit. Keep releasing your sound. The world needs the song only you can sing, becoming the vessel that is the quiet miracle unfolding inside you now. Chosen one. For years, you thought the goal was to achieve something, to reach some visible mark of success or recognition. But heaven has always been guiding you towards something far more intimate: transformation. You were never called to build monuments. You were called to become a vessel, one through whom the divine can pour without obstruction. You see, being chosen is not about being elevated, it's about being emptied. God has been hollowing out every part of you that was cluttered with fear, pride, or self-reliance. He wasn't punishing you, he was making room. The refining you endured wasn't for decoration but for capacity. Because what heaven plans to pour into you next requires more space than your old self could hold. Every loss, every letting go, every disappointment, those were chisels in the hand of the potter. You are clay in divine hands, and he's been shaping you with deliberate pressure. The seasons that stretched you were the very ones that sculpted your spirit. What once felt like breaking was actually becoming. You weren't losing pieces of yourself, you were shedding what no longer fit the design. To become the vessel is to surrender to process. Clay doesn't argue with the potter, it yields. It allows shaping, spinning, even fire. You have done that, you've allowed yourself to be turned on heaven's wheel, trusting that even when everything felt out of control, the hands holding you never were. You didn't realize it then, but every rotation was refining your purpose. There's beauty in vessels that have been through the fire. They shine differently. Their surface tells a story of both pressure and persistence. You've been through fires that could have cracked you, yet you didn't shatter. Instead, you were glazed in grace, sealed with strength. The world sees your shine, but heaven remembers the furnace. As was spoken in the book of Isaiah, chapter 64, verse 8, "Yet you, Lord, are our Father. We are the clay. You are the potter. We are all the work of your hand." This truth defines your current season. You are not random matter in motion. You are art in progress. Every bend of your will, every sigh of surrender, every unseen act of obedience has shaped you into the image heaven envisioned. You are becoming exactly what the Creator had in mind before time began. Being a vessel means you no longer exist for yourself. The oil that flows through you isn't meant to stay. It's meant to spill into lives around you. You were never meant to be a reservoir, but a river. The divine doesn't seek perfection, it seeks passage. You are that passage now, a living conduit of grace. People will feel something shift when they encounter you, not because of who you are, but because of who flows through you. But there's a quiet responsibility in being a vessel. You must remain clean, not in moral superiority, but in spiritual alignment, just as a cup must be emptied before being refilled. You'll find yourself continually surrendering old emotions, outdated identities, and expired attachments. The more you release, the more heaven fills. The less you cling, the more freely you overflow. You'll also learn that vessels don't decide their placement, the potter does. Some are displayed publicly, others are hidden in sacred corners. Both carry equal value. Your worth was never tied to visibility, but to availability. Whether you are seen by millions or by none, you are still full of divine purpose. In becoming the vessel, you will feel a shift in your identity. You'll no longer ask, "What do I want?" but rather, "What does God want to express through me today?" You'll begin to notice that even your simplest actions, your smile, your patience, your words begin to carry divine weight. That's what it means to be yielded. Your life becomes a living sermon, your movement a prayer. And yes, sometimes being a vessel feels heavy. The oil within you carries the ache of compassion, the burden of intercession, the awareness of pain around you. But remember, vessels don't create the oil, they carry it. You were never meant to fix every heart, only to pour faithfully when heaven prompts you. The rest belongs to God. You have been emptied, refined, and now prepared. There is a quiet power in your stillness, a sacred authority in your surrender. You no longer need to strive, you simply stay open. That is what heaven calls maturity, not ambition, but alignment. The potter is still at work, but now the shape is clear. You are becoming a vessel of light, of wisdom, of love. The same hands that once pressed you down are now lifting you up, not as unfinished clay, but as a masterpiece ready for purpose. So rest in this, knowing you are no longer in the making, you are being used in the divine unfolding. You have become the vessel, and through you, heaven flows freely. Glory revealed, those are the words heaven now whispers over your life. Chosen one, what once was hidden beneath pain, confusion, and waiting has finally begun to gleam. The long, quiet seasons of surrender were never in vain. They were the roots of this radiant moment. You have become a reflection of what happens when faith refuses to die. The glory you carry now isn't loud or boastful, it's the kind that glows softly from within, undeniable and unshakable. Glory is not an event, it's a state of being. It's what remains when the fire burns away everything false. It's what shines when endurance meets grace. You've walked through too many shadows to mistake the light now rising inside you as anything ordinary. This is the fulfillment of promises that once felt distant. You are walking in answered prayers, some you remember, some you forgot you prayed. Glory doesn't arrive suddenly, it grows like dawn. First, a faint glimmer, then a quiet warmth, then brilliance stretching across everything once dark. That's how your life feels now, a slow unveiling. You've moved from striving to shining, no longer reaching for worth. You are radiating from it. You've become what heaven always saw, a vessel of glory, clothed in compassion, crowned with understanding. There's a shift in your aura. People will notice peace around you before they know why. You will speak less, but impact more. You'll carry authority, not through words, but through presence. This is the mark of divine maturity. You don't chase recognition. Recognition finds you. You've been through enough to know that glory isn't applause, it's alignment. When your soul and spirit finally agree with heaven, you become luminous, as was declared in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 18. And we all, who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory, are being transformed into his image with ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. That verse describes you. Now you are being transformed, not into perfection, but into presence. Each day, you mirror a little more of God's nature, his gentleness, his wisdom, his mercy. Glory isn't about shining brighter than others. It's about becoming clearer reflections of him. When people look into your life, they see glimpses of divine love, courage, and peace. That is glory revealed. You've carried burdens that once bent your spirit. Now, those same burdens have become wings. The pain that once silenced you has become poetry written in your scars. Every tear that watered your faith has bloomed into revelation. You no longer see trials as curses. They were catalysts. They didn't define you, they refined you. When the world looks at you now, they see light, but heaven sees history. Every chapter of endurance, every hidden yes, every trembling prayer, all of it has become the mosaic of this moment. You are living proof that what breaks us doesn't end us, it transforms us. Your resilience has become worship, your survival a song. There's a quiet power in you now, like the stillness before sunrise. You don't have to explain your journey to anyone. The glow on your life does that for you. People will sense something eternal in your presence, a peace that doesn't come from comfort, but from communion. You've touched the edge of divine glory, and it has marked you forever. But remember, chosen one, glory is not static, it's a flow. It doesn't settle, it expands. The more you give, the more it grows. The more you forgive, the purer it shines. Glory thrives in humility and dies in pride. That's why heaven entrusted it to you, because you know how to hold it gently. You don't use it to impress, you use it to heal. You don't wield it as power, you carry it as presence. Now, your life will begin to magnetize what aligns with glory people. Opportunities, revelations, doors will open not because of effort, but because light recognizes light. You are entering a cycle of divine visibility, not to be exalted, but to exalt the one who carried you here. You will find yourself in moments of silence, tears in your eyes, realizing that this peace, this purpose, this awareness is what all the pain was for. Glory is not found on stages, it's discovered in surrender. You have learned the rarest art to shine without needing to be seen. And as you continue to walk, glory will not fade, it will evolve. Like gold purified through fire, Each new challenge will only polish you further. You will not return to the old ways of fear or striving. They can no longer contain who you've become. You are no longer waiting for breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. Wherever you go, heaven manifests through you. This is the full circle, the fulfillment of every promise whispered over your life. You've become a living sanctuary where divinity and humanity meet. The journey was never about reaching somewhere. It was about becoming someone. You are that someone now whole, healed, holy. Glory revealed is not the end. It is the beginning of eternal unfolding. You are now the reflection of what love can build, what faith can sustain, and what grace can resurrect. You are the story heaven loves to tell, one of endurance turned into radiance, of ashes turned into crowns. Walk gently in this light. You are not just carrying glory, you are glory walking. The heavens rejoice, the earth bears witness, and eternity smiles. The masterpiece is complete. Beloved chosen one, if you've journeyed this far, take a deep breath. Let this final moment settle over you like dawn after a long night. You have walked through revelation after revelation, heaven's whispers, earth's refining fires, the unveiling of your own divinity wrapped in humanity. You are not who you were when you began this journey. You've grown lighter, wiser, fuller of grace. Heaven looks at you and smiles. The words you've just read were never random. They were a mirror held up to your soul, a reminder of who you've always been beneath the noise. Every chapter carved deeper awareness of purpose. And now, you stand as living proof that the process works. You've been chosen, shaped, refined, and revealed. The crown fits. The light rests on you easily now. Pause and feel the presence surrounding you. It's not just emotion, it's affirmation. Heaven has recorded your endurance, your obedience, your healing. You've become what angels call radiant evidence. So when life feels heavy again, and it will return here, reread these words. And remember, you are chosen not for perfection, but for persistence. You carry the fragrance of eternity. Now, before you leave, let's make this moment ripple beyond ourselves. Like this message, if it stirred something holy inside you, not out of habit, but as an act of agreement. Every like is a silent amen, a signal to heaven that you receive what was spoken. When you share, think of it not as content but as light being passed from hand to hand. Someone, somewhere, is one word away from hope. Your simple gesture may be the whisper they've been waiting for. If your heart has found home here, subscribe not for the algorithm's sake, but for your soul's. This space is not entertainment, it's encounter. Staying connected ensures you keep walking beside voices that remind you of heaven's rhythm when the world grows loud. And finally, when you comment, let your words be more than response, let them be testimony. Tell what line touched you, what truth awakened, what moment made you breathe again. Each comment becomes another thread in this tapestry of chosen ones, each voice joining the chorus that declares, heaven still speaks, and we are listening. Carry this peace with you now. Let your life be the echo of these words. You are chosen, you are radiant, you are loved, and your story is far from over.